Hello guys, welcome to this live video with me today, and in today's video we are going to be discussing the difference between POP ceiling and polystyrene ceiling. With the advent, maybe from the time POP ceiling has become something for big men, the polystyrene ceiling has been gaining market for for few years now, and I think there are a lot of questions surrounding the difference between the POP ceiling and the rest of the thing. So in this video, I just want to go over some of these differences, and of course, if I have the time, the next time I will be going through the next one or the next few one. I will go through them as many as I can. And also in today's video, I'm also going to talk about the prices, how different location and how it affects the prices in general. So what is the difference between POP ceiling and polystyrene ceiling? Now, POP ceiling, many people know it already, and when I say polystyrene ceiling, many people may not know it already, but I don't think I will be going through all the hassle to be explaining that for you. You can go to check my profile. You will see where I'm doing some of this ceiling, where we are taking some of the material to site and all the rest. You get to see it there. Again, I'm Locosu Sylvain, and I do POP ceiling and polystyrene ceiling. So if you need polystyrene ceiling, no matter where you are in Nigeria, we have gone to almost every single state in Nigeria working as POP, either as POP ceiling designer and as polystyrene ceiling designer. Of course, if you have been following me for a while, you know I also do screening and painting. So that is me for you, and I've been doing this for over 11 years. Man, I've been doing this for over 11 years. So in fact, I be grandpapa, papa, and grandpapa. So anyway, I'm in the house also, so if my twins start crying, please don't be offended, but I believe they will not cry during my live video. So what is the difference between POP ceiling and polystyrene? The number one difference between POP ceiling and polystyrene is the weight. Now, if you take polystyrene ceiling, is very, very light. Yes, polystyrene ceiling is very, very light. It doesn't give your building any weight. You know, I think the professional in the industry, like the engineers, the architect, and the rest of the building and the construction guys, they know this better. But people who own buildings or people who own houses, they don't know this difference. The weight of the house matters. Like people like us, we are just artisans, so we just do it the way they ask us to do it. But it just a little research will show you that the weight of the ceiling matters a lot. So the lighter, or I don't know how to put it, but polystyrene ceiling, make sure that your building doesn't carry too much of weight, which is very, very good for buildings, no matter how tall or how low they may be. Of course, skyscraper and all these story buildings, it is very, very important that you have to watch the weight of the you have to watch the weight and the rest of the things. I'm not a professional when it comes to building, but the polystyrene doesn't give your building weight. Like I can lift more than 40 polystyrene and I will not feel anything at all. Yes, more than 40 panels of polystyrene and I will not feel anything at all. So when it comes to weight, POP is heavy and polystyrene ceiling is very, very light. So the next thing is durability. What is now when it comes to when you compare POP ceiling and polystyrene ceiling, POP ceiling will last as long as 40 years. If I'm trying to over exaggerate, but polystyrene ceiling will last as long as 70 years. No exaggeration here. Now, the lifespan of polystyrene is 500 years. The lifespan of polystyrene ceiling is 500 years. So, when you now use it to construct something like a ceiling, you should be expecting nothing less than 70. Of course, many other people say it can stay as much as 100, but of course that's 70, 100. Of course, I just brought it so that it will not just be as if we are trying to over exaggerate things. So polystyrene ceiling can last for as long as 70 years. Meanwhile, POP ceiling 40 years, you have to change it. So that is another difference. The next difference, which many people may be hanging around for, or may want to listen to, is the difference is the price. Of course, you know, when it comes to price structure, when it comes to anything building material or building, or especially POP ceiling, as I've been doing for the past many years, when you go to places like Port Harcourt, Onitsha, and now let me just call the states, somewhere like Anambra, Bayelsa, Rivers, what is it called, Imo, all these places, when you go to these places, or even Delta, when you go to these places, the price of POP ceiling or the price of POP materials are always low. And the price of POP materials are always low compared to Abuja. Now, the reason why I believe, though I was having a discussion with someone, and then he brought up he just bring up the idea, and I think the idea is tangible, and it can also be the reason why materials, especially POP ceiling materials, are just expensive in Abuja. Now, it is said that Abuja is one of the fastest developing cities in the whole of Africa. So, of course, the law of supply and demand, you know how it works. When the demand is high, the price is always high. Or I don't know if I'm putting it well, but when the people want to buy the thing, the sellers tend to increase the price. So that is the reason why many people get to many of the building material are very expensive, or somehow the price are higher compared to other places. But somewhere like Aba, I've worked in Aba for many times, you discover that the cement you are buying in Abuja for 4,000, for instance, for 4,000, you are getting it at Aba at only 3,000. And first of all, because many of the things they sell in Abuja are brought from Aba, and the wholesalers are in Aba. Also, the demand is not that high in Aba. Demand for POP ceiling design is not that high in Aba. So the price structures in those places are different compared to Abuja and maybe far north and the rest of the places. So when I say whether it is cheap or it is expensive, everything I'm saying here is relative. Everything I'm saying here is relative. So depending on where you are, the cost of polystyrene is lower compared to POP. So it is lower compared to POP. The next thing is the designs. Now, when it comes to POP ceiling, when it comes to POP ceiling and the polystyrene ceiling, they have almost the same. They have almost the same capacity to get any design at all. The only capacity that polystyrene doesn't have is that you cannot get the same, you cannot get round design with polystyrene. Unlike POP, where we can cut the zinc, draw the round, and fix them as it's supposed to be, you can't get round with polystyrene. You can get maybe you can just get some kind of curve, but it cannot be round. And the only way you can get the round is to go to the factory, especially when you have the factory around the place. You go to the factory somewhere like in Abuja, where we have some factory. You can go to the factory, give them the measurement, show them the design, then they will now cut it for you and mold it for you. And of course, the more of these things you are doing, because you are trying to customize something, it will be costing you higher. So in general, POP can get any design, any round design at all, but polystyrene does not get round design. But any straight design that you can think of when it comes to POP, polystyrene ceiling can get it. That is why when you see POP ceiling, when they take you to a house with the same with polystyrene and POP, you will rarely recognize the difference because they look exactly the same. They look exactly the same. So I think that is how far I can go with the difference between POP ceiling and polystyrene ceiling today. Of course, like this video, of course, maybe I don't know how your Facebook algorithm will work, but if as much as you can share this video with someone that you know will be in need of POP ceiling or polystyrene ceiling design right now. Don't also forget, I be your #1 POP ceiling designer. Anywhere you have POP ceiling designs I will be available to be there. Of course, again, I be Lokosu Sylvain, and thank you for watching this video, and I say bye.